The Ephesian Christians, along with other Christians in the early church, would undergo 10 times of intense Roman persecution. 10 brutal periods of time where the church would be persecuted, where Christians would be arrested, their property would be seized, they would be imprisoned, and their children would be tortured before their eyes, and then they'd be put to death. Now, during that season, Paul said more than ever, be strong, be strong, be strong. But what we know historically to be true is that the most amazing thing we see from the historical accounts of what happened, very few would recant their faith. I want you to think about that. Torture, imprisonment, seizure of property, their children being put to death, and very, very few would deny Jesus. All they had to do, by the way, are you ready for what they had to do? Typically, they just had to take a pinch of salt and put it in a fire and homage to the emperor. And they wouldn't do it. They would not do it. They wouldn't fake it even. And so what we see are incredible times where people took to heart what Paul said, stand strong, stand strong, stand strong. Maybe even more striking than the fact that very few recanted is this. So many of the torturers, the jailers, and the soldiers who had arrested Christians ended up giving their lives to Christ. Now, I want you to think about that. If you're someone who tortured Christians, but you were so moved by the faith and the courage of Christians that you made a profession at Christ, you were one order away from also being arrested and tortured. And you already probably know this, the Romans would make more of an example out of the torturers who gave their lives to Christ than they would anybody else. So they knew the brutality they would face, the pain and agony they would suffer. But there was something so amazing about when Christians stand strong in the Lord, when Christians live for the Lord, they could not deny it. And so we know of account after account after account of the torturers, the soldiers, and the jailers even giving their lives to Christ because of the amazing, amazing faith of the Christians. One of the historical accounts that really grabbed my heart and happened in 177 AD. It's about a young girl named Blandina. Blandina was described as young, but she also was described as very frail and very weak, at least physically. But that would not be true of her internally. She had an internal strength and a profound faith that moved many, many people. And so what happened is her unwavering faith in the face of this horrific torture inspired 48 other Christians to not deny Christ.